Good afternoon, this is Fox News, and today we are going to take an inside look into the issues of false eyewitness testimony. Perjury has been known to affect the outcome of several cases. The question we will be looking into: what if the witness is not capable? What if they are not in the right frame of mind to testify? How will this change the outcome? I will receive an inside look from both the lawyer and a psychologist. Hello, today I am meeting with a local attorney, Frank Hartman, and I want to thank you for meeting with us.
You're welcome.
If you would, just please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I have been an attorney in the state of West Virginia for 10 years now, and out of law school was a clerk for a circuit judge for 1 year in Upshur County, Judge Cable, and then was engaged in the private practice of law, doing miscellaneous civil work and criminal defense for a period of 5 or 6 years.
Okay. During your time as a lawyer, do you have any first-hand experience with perjury?
I have represented clients who have been accused of perjury and or false swearing. Yes.
And what is the outcome if someone is convicted of such a crime in the state of West Virginia?
In West Virginia, it is a felony offense, punishable by incarceration in the penitentiary and a substantial fine as well.
When do you feel that it is necessary for a psychologist to give their opinion in this situation?
Well, since a psychologist has a substantial background knowledge and training that an attorney does not, most attorneys, I found in my experience, when there was even a question of that issue, that a psychologist should be engaged to provide a professional opinion to the court, so the court can make that determination. So early as possible, if the issue seems to present itself.
Well, I have a question based on that, because in the case of Megan Williams, which of course is local, they did not actually do those type of tests or anything with Megan Williams, and now later, of course, she is taking her statements back. The prosecuting attorney did put a statement out that said that they did not base the conviction of the 6 young people on her testimony. They actually based it on the physical evidence. Where do you feel as a lawyer that you have the capability and the knowledge to make a decision to take out her testimony?
I frankly don't. I mean, as an attorney, I respect the field of psychology. That's not a call that I can make. I can be alerted, as we mentioned earlier, to certain issues as it relates to my representation of criminal defense. It's my understanding that Ms. Williams was the alleged victim in these incidences, and it's very rare that a victim would be subject to a psychological evaluation. It's typically a court-appointed counsel on behalf of the defendant trying to avail the court's attention and assistance with a psychologist for competency. A victim's competency is seldom questioned unless there were reasons to do so.
And you do believe that it is necessary to have a psychologist play a role in the law?
I do. I think that that's helpful to both juries and judges in fields that they are not qualified in, providing expert testimony for a jury to make a reasonable verdict, or providing expert testimony in allowing a judge to make an evidentiary ruling or some other judgment that the court makes. Absolutely, I think it's crucial.
Well, I would like to thank you for speaking with us today, and it has been a pleasure, and I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You bet.
Hello and welcome back. This afternoon we will be discussing perjury with a local psychologist. And if you would, just go ahead and please introduce yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Melinda Henline. I am a supervised psychologist, which basically means that I'm not licensed. I received my master's in psychology from Marshall University in August of 2008, and I will be working for 5 years under a licensed psychologist before I can myself be licensed. Prior to that, I've done a variety of jobs. My bachelor's degree is in education from Glenville State. I've worked as a temporary social worker and several jobs involving case management. And I've just worked with a variety of people over the years.
Okay. Well, thank you for speaking with us. And I do just want to ask you a few questions about perjury, which is a false statement that is made by an individual willfully. Now, when I read that statement, willfully would be considered the key word in that. When do you feel it is necessary as a psychologist to make a judgment on whether a person is capable of testifying?
Well, generally psychologists are brought into cases like that, or any sort of legal case, by an attorney, and they are asked to evaluate a client based on usually their level of intelligence and whether or not they have any specific mental illnesses. So in order for a psychologist to come in and make a judgment, they have to be very, very familiar with the client and know exactly, what they need to be evaluated for. So at that point then, once they have done all their testing and met with the client, usually pretty extensively, then they write up their opinion.
Do you feel that psychology should play a role in the law?
Yes, I do. Because oftentimes people who are lower functioning in their cognitive abilities, or if they have a mental illness, either mild or severe, can sometimes be taken advantage of, or maybe all of their rights are not represented as well as they could be, because people are not always aware that this person is not perceiving things the way that everybody else is, either due to low cognition or
When a person is said to be mentally incompetent, how do you feel this affects their ability to testify?
Well, it really depends on, I guess, what we're defining as mental incompetence, because there's a wide range. There's a wide range of cognitive problems and delays that could affect testimony or the way that they're perceiving a situation. There's a wide variety of mental illnesses that could be affecting the way that they're perceiving a situation. So to me, it really just kind of depends on, maybe the crime that they're accused of committing and what you mean when you say mental incompetence.
Should they be held to the same standards if they are considered mentally incompetent?
I think they should be held to the same standards, but I also feel like their delay or their disability should be taken into account when it comes time to pass judgment or hand out a sentence. Because, just because they're lower functioning or mentally ill does not give them a free pass to commit crimes or take advantage of other people, but at the same time, I think we also have to realize that they're operating on a different level of functioning.
Just to give an example of a case which is local, in the case of Megan Williams, she is considered to be low function, which is what the media is giving out. How do you think this case should be handled, and should it be held to the same
Well, not knowing everything about the case, just what I've read in the newspaper, I really feel like she was probably influenced quite a bit, and her lower level of functioning made it very easy for that to happen, probably more so than the average person. I just, without knowing too much about it, it's hard to say whether or not she really fully grasped the implication of, whatever thing that she said that maybe wasn't entirely true. So, I think she does need to be held accountable for her actions, but at the same time, we also need to take into consideration what it was that, that she perceived as what was going on, and, how much she was influenced by, her attorneys, by the media attention, by family. There's a lot of variables there.
So basically, as a psychologist, the perspective is just depending on the situation and the individual itself, and it's case by case basis.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I really appreciate your time, and I just want to thank you for speaking with us today.
Thank you.